Hello there, my fellow peeps and geeks. I'm pretty sure that we all know what Mortal Kombat is if you're on this video. You know, that ultra-violent fighting game based on a nonsensical amalgamation of Asian stereotypes and cultures and highly impractical fighting outfits. Yeah, that one. Based on the title of this video, it should be easy to know what I'm going to be talking about today. Mileena is a crucial character regarding the lore of Mortal Kombat as a whole. After all, she's made from the blood of the one and only Kitana, Princess of Idalia and Liu Kang's future baby mama. Kitana tends to be a pretty big deal regarding the lore of Mortal Kombat due to her often being the stepdaughter of Shao Kahn, Outworld's ruler. For those who might need a bit of a refresher, Mileena had been in many games, even some of the very earlier ones. But the ones I think she shines the most in are in MK9 through MK11 regarding storytelling. Don't get me wrong, MK1 Mileena is definitely a good version as well, but I already stated my reasons for preferring the former. MK9 through MK11 Mileena is one of the most interesting forms to me regarding her story and how she develops. But something I don't see people really pay much attention to, and if so, they don't go this far in this analysis, is the fact that Mileena was never truly attempting to be a villain, but rather her villainy is a byproduct of how people had consistently treated her throughout her life. In MK9, Kitana finally reaches Shang Tsung's lair after having to fight multiple people preventing her from arriving. It's there she becomes rightfully horrified at finding out that Shang Tsung was cloning her with Tarkatan blood. Mileena then awakens, and off the bat, despite her very creepy nature, Mileena shows excitement when she sees Kitana, excited to have a sister since she was made from her blood. However, Kitana, probably out of fear, then says to Mileena,
You are not my family. You are a monstrosity.
and then proceeds to fight her. I think you might be able to tell where I'm going with this now. Am I saying that Kitana didn't have the right to be disgusted and terrified at what was happening? No. But I do think that where Kitana had failed was that she didn't have empathy for the being in front of her who did not ask to be made. Mileena was essentially a Frankenstein monster project, a perfected experiment made by a madman for his own twisted agenda. And while Shao Kahn had quote unquote accepted her, he still only used Mileena for his political schemes. He didn't truly love her either. Mileena knows that she's not loved, and it's why she's so power hungry. It's her thinking, if I can't be loved, I may as well be feared. It's why she leads into her bloodlust. It's why she's obsessed with power. Because it's the only way for her to show that she has some semblance of value in a world that constantly tells her that she has none. Because not even the man who made her wanted to keep her alive later on.
Shang Tsung paid you to kill me?
You're a failed experiment he wants ended.
Impossible! I'm his masterpiece!
I think that Mileena's Tarkatan tendencies would make people suspicious, but let's be honest. If Baraka was able to control his urges and make genuine connections, Mileena could very well do the same as him. In fact, it wasn't until MK11 does he actually try to invite Mileena to join his tribe, because he also realizes that Mileena just wants a home.
You belong with the tribe.
I belong with my father, Baraka.
Your blood is ours, not his.
But Mileena rejects him due to his ties with Kitana, the very first person to reject her. And unfortunately, due to the years of abuse and misuse, Mileena rejects any and all offers of redemption because of two reasons. Number one, she doesn't trust people anymore, at least not as easily, and rightfully so. Two, she's so far gone into her mindset that she believes there's no other way for her to have worth. Now, do these things justify what Mileena was doing in this timeline? No, absolutely not. But if anything, I think it further solidifies why she was like that. After all, as the African proverb states, the child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. And that is exactly what Mileena has been doing. And by the time it's revealed in MK11 that Kitana thinks that Mileena can be saved, Mileena scoffs. And why wouldn't she?
Kitana believes you can be saved.
My sister is tragically mistaken.
Which is why I will show you no mercy.
Even in MKX, when you pair Kitana to fight Mileena, she says things like this.
You are unfit to live.
Yeah, I think I would also be very hesitant to trust a person who said those things to me as well. Kitana was the very first person to establish that Mileena didn't belong with anyone who could have decently cared about her. The literal first words she said to her when she had awoken was, "You are not my family." It's no wonder that Mileena doesn't trust that Kitana has good intentions because Kitana's never given her actual proof of otherwise. Mileena didn't ask to be put on the planet. She was made entirely against her will, only to then be faced with constant abuse and judgment. And any form of love that she did experience was merely a means to an end. Everyone blames Mileena for being on the quote unquote evil side, but that's because up until MK11, no one else was willing to take her in. And even then, the side she was working for only had her because they thought she was useful, only to then toss her out when she had no more use for them. Heck, even her own quote unquote lover, Tanya, had betrayed her by plotting with Rain. I freaking despise Tanya, it's not even funny. Mileena is a tragic story where she was judged as a monster without ever being given a chance to prove herself. And because people assumed she was a monster, she felt like there were no other options. It's a sad, self fulfilling prophecy where people believed she was a liability, so she became one because she didn't know what else to be. Once again, these actions do not justify Mileena's terrible choices. But I definitely do believe that Kitana was the catalyst for why Mileena had gone down that path. And I also believe that if Kitana had even just a smidge of empathy, that it would have greatly changed how Mileena's life looked. This is why I'm glad that she at least has a decent family in MK1 at least.